Hello friends, we're here today for a very special video. If you're a real OG to this channel, you're going to remember this guy, Jaron Herren, Western Australian award-winning filmmaker Jaron Herren, formerly known on YouTube as Jaron's Eye View, back when he did some film reviews.
Maybe 10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, but no, we're besties from way back in high school, and we used to do a podcast together called Children of Film, and every year we would do our joint film awards.
It's Best Picture time, lads.
Best Picture, this is what you're here for. You probably skipped the whole video for this, and it's probably a wise decision by you.
You probably just skipped the whole video in general.
Yeah, you probably didn't click on it. Alright, and our nominees.
And so we don't see each other as much now. We live in different states, but we've decided to get together this year and do some awards. How you feeling, Jaron?
Oh, I'm super excited, super stoked. This was always like our favourite video to do every single year, you know what I mean? The process of going through our top fives, our top tens, favourite things in each category, whether it's sound, director, even text, they're also fun. Going through that process in a sort of vote system, we find out what our favourites are in each category mutually. It's always really fun.
Basically, yeah, each category will submit a list of 10 for our votes, ranked, and then combine our nominations for like 5 nominees in every category. We've got some fun categories here too. It's like 28 categories, too many, so we apologise for how long this video is going to be. So, yeah, you know, some blood was shed, some blood, sweat, and tears went into making these nominations, you know. But these are a representation of our combined tastes and
Absolutely.
how diverse and sometimes converging it is.
So many of these winners were not my personal favourite or Jacob's personal favourite. There were 2 or 3, and in a voting system just ended up on top, you know what I mean?
And that's the beauty of the awards season.
Yeah, always really fun. So let's get into it, hey?
Yep, we've taken enough of their time already.
Please, after you.
The first of many categories and one of many Best Picture categories is Best Horror Film. Now, Jaron, this was a really great year for horror. I know you're really passionate about a lot of the horror films from this year.
Yeah, when we were doing this, there were the top 10 films in the horror genre for 2022. I had more I wanted to push into that 10. It was such a strong year. So these 5 represent mutually our favourite ones. But again, there were at least 15, maybe 20 horror films that I loved from last year.
And I think I'm wearing the right shirt for this category. The nominees for Best Horror Film are Bones and All, Nope, Pearl, Terrifier 2, and Watcher. And the winner is Bones and All, produced by Giovanni Corrado, Raffaella Viscardi, and that's it.
Yes.
Jaron's handwriting, you know, it's tough. But yeah, Bones and All, really deserved winner. Maybe it's one that you could borderline say, is it a horror film? But I think it is. I think it has some of the scariest imagery of any film this year.
Absolutely. I think what we go off is it one of the 2 or 3 genres that mostly encapsulates that film, and it definitely is. It's a romance horror, and I think Bones and All hit me so hard because it's one of the most, it balances horror and beauty and tragedy so well. It was really powerful, and yeah, I think again, like you said, the whole narrative is pushed by the horror elements. It just happens to be a romance within it.
Yeah, but yeah, even the other 5 nominees here barely scratched the surface, and you know, you might see Terrifier 2 showing up a little bit more here as well. And just see Watcher. It's underrated. We both really love it, and not enough people really appreciated that film.
Yeah, go seek out Watcher. Go seek out all of these films. A Nope is another one that you could say is a pseudo-horror.
But yeah.
It's like a Spielbergian kind of horror. Yeah. Really great stuff.
Alright, what's next, Jaron? You're up.
Alright, next we are going for... So we've got 3 exciting categories right before we get into a lot of the tech stuff straight up. 3 sort of genre Best Pictures. Our next one is Best Picture Comedy. These are the comedies. Again,
a lot of debate went into what is a comedy for when we chose these. But
it did, but I think we've got some great picks. So the nominations for Best Comedy are The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Fire Island, Jackass Forever, and White Noise. And your winner is Everything Everywhere All at Once, of course, produced by Jonathan Wang, Mike LaRocca, Joe Russo, Anthony Russo, and Daniels.
the best thing the Russos have done since that little film up there behind us on the wall.
That indie picture.
So yeah, thanks to those guys for shepherding this, but please less of the grey man and more of this. But no, I mean, it almost makes the category redundant because of what a big above the line player that film is, but also it's such a funny movie.
It is. Anyone that has issue with it being a comedy, I just point towards the butt plug fight.
Yeah, I know some people have issues with the comedy in the film and how it goes too silly and everything, but I'm like, no, that's what I love about the Daniels. They mine beauty out of silliness and and makes sense of the absurd world we live in.
Exactly, and for me personally, some of their previous films like Swiss Army Man I can appreciate, but didn't really connect with me as much as it connected with a wider audience. I know especially you, but Everything Everywhere All at Once just hit for me on every cylinder.
And look, we're going to talk about that film plenty today, but just got to shout out Fire Island, because that is like a film we both loved, and it's a film that didn't get enough respect as a comedy, as a romance film this year, and it's on Disney Plus in Australia. Watch it.
Hulu if you're in the States as well. Grab it on Hulu.
Yep, you're on top of it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a really great film. And that's about it. Should we continue?
Yes. And our last Best Picture category for now. This is Best Action Film. Now, I thought this was kind of a weaker year for action. Jaron disagreed, so it made our list a really interesting mixture of stuff. And the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Everything Everywhere All at Once, RRR, and Top Gun Maverick. And the winner is The Batman, produced by Dylan Clark and Matt Reeves. Yeah, what a film. Again, it's one that I think like 3 of these nominees I didn't even have in my action list until Jaron sort of convinced me, because The Batman, I guess it is more of a moody detective noir piece, but like that car chase.
Oh my god, the car chase.
There's so many great like hand-to-hand fights in that film.
The opening scene, it's him versus a bunch of gangbangers, and also they turn the Batmobile into a horror monster. The way it revs up through the smoke, it's probably my favourite Batmobile chase put to screen. It's fucking amazing.
Maybe the best Batman film.
Maybe the best Batman film. Who's to say? Let's not get too many dislikes on this video, but let's say some of us in this room, at least 2 of us, believe it could potentially be the best Batman film.
Maybe.
But
sorry Blake.
Yep. So again, RRR. Shout out. That'll be popping up again at least once or twice more. But that took my breath away, that film. It was absolutely incredible. Had no right to be that fun.
Maybe the most fun film here.
Yes, Top Gun Maverick and
Absolutely
All Quiet on the Western Front. 2 films where people could say they're more, pseudo-war films before action, but the action definitely comes with a fucking vengeance in those films.
I think I felt guilty about quantifying All Quiet as an action film, because then that's me saying, oh, it's spectacle, it's fun, even though it's horrific. But it is action. I think I fought for Dunkirk being an action film when we did these awards in 2017. So, you got to stick to your principles,
You do.
But yeah, Top Gun, some of the best aerial combat ever put to screen.
Probably the best, yeah. All right, let's continue.
Jaron, you're on.
Awesome. Now we're going for another fun category, one you won't see at many other award shows, and this is Best Scene of the Year. Best movie scene from any film. This was a difficult one to put together because we all, first of all, had different names for what we thought different scenes were, and obviously we've seen you've seen over 100 films, I've seen about 100 films as well, so cutting through the scenes was hard.
And honestly, I had to fight to not just put 10 scenes from Babylon as my nominations. Like, you know me, you know how much I love that film.
You won't be able to tell.
Yeah, I think we struck a pretty happy middle ground. Maybe a bit excessive to our humble viewer, but I think we got a list that we're both happy with in the end.
That's right. All right, so here we go. Our first scene is Under Pressure, a scene from After Sun. Our second scene is the ending of Babylon. Our third scene is Hello College, a scene from Babylon. We have Training the Dogfighters from Top Gun Maverick, and we have Maverick's Speedrun from Top Gun Maverick. So some good nominees there, 2 from two films we both love.
Yeah, only 3 films are showing up in Best Scene, but look, they're two films that both of us are very passionate about, but who won?
The winner is Hello College from Babylon. Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to pick a standout scene from that movie, but that's one thing I love about that movie. Every individual scene is so well structured and so entertaining, but I just think Hello College is, because I saw that film 8 times, every time I came back to the film, that's the scene that I'm like, I was getting giddy with excitement every time I knew it was coming up, and just a great showcase of comedy, like the repetition, like the little Slate kid popping back up every now. And as people who have worked on film sets, it's a fun, obviously very heightened and exaggerated portrayal, but I think there's something that cuts deep down there about how fucking painful shooting sound can be.
Maybe that's why it hit so personally for both of us, because you being a big sound editor and myself, I've probably AD'd about 10 or more projects. They were 2 key players in this scene, and again, exaggerated, but lots of fun to see that kind of work portrayed in a film, and just to the heightened, ridiculous levels that it was.
I've been a sound recordist on sets, so I might be one of the people who relate to the sound guy in that scene, even though he's an arsehole. Just a bit, even just a little throwbits where it's like, I'm hearing a high-pitched noise. Who is it? Like, yeah. But on top of that, like, the Babylon montage, very ambitious. The 2 Top Gun scenes, I mean, I actually think my favourite scene from the movie, well, it didn't make our list, but like the other 2 that got in are amazing as well. Or did it get in? My favourite was probably the speed run. Yeah, that did get in.
Was nominated.
Okay, look, I don't know our own fucking awards.
Yeah, when Maverick tries to say that he can, tries to prove after being his wings clipped that he can do the run in under 2.5 minutes, because nasty John Hamm told him it wasn't possible, and then boom, 2 minutes 14, let's go.
Alright, another category that we're both big fans of that we've always done in our awards is Best Character, because, you know, what is a film without someone to be attached to or to root for or to love to hate? And our 5 nominees for Best Character are Nellie Leroy from Babylon.
Good luck with this one.
You've stooged me with this one. Padraig... Is it Sullivan?
Sullivan, I guess. Padraig Sullivan, we'll just say that. Sorry.
Padraig from Banshees of Inisherin.
Sorry to all Irish, but...
I'm part Irish, I should be able to do this. Wayman Wang from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Leslie Rollins from To Leslie, and Pete Maverick Mitchell from Top Gun Maverick. I think that's a great list.
Well, yeah, I think these 5 people are the linchpins to their films.
Yeah.
5 great films as well.
But our winner for Best Character, I think I remember who it was.
Did I not write it down?
No, but I'm pretty sure I remember. The winner for Best Character is Leslie Rollins from To Leslie. A film that, thankfully, the 2 of us really loved, and thankfully it's been put on the map thanks to Andrew Riseborough's Oscar nomination. But on top of that performance, it's a beautifully made film and a beautiful character study about alcoholism, because it touches on an issue that I'm sure both of us have seen from people in our lives, and it just rang so authentic to me. And it's a character who, despite she makes a lot of bad choices and does a lot of unsympathetic things, but you're rooting for her to make it through, because there is something deep down that and it's what this disease does. It takes good people and turns them into monsters sometimes, and it's the most compelling character of the year.
There's some great writing there, and I think with a lesser performance it could come off as a caricature, a lot of her mannerisms and the way of speaking and what she goes through and how she deals with it. But I think with that grounded performance, I guess she plays it so subtle until the moments that she doesn't, but you can always feel this kind of boiling regret, this self-destruction within her, and this anger, but also this desire to do better. And I think that all comes out. It's so complex. We'll talk about performance later, but that character...
It's something we can all relate to as well, even if we don't have that exact issue. It's like, you know, anyone who's struggled with any kind of vice or just, good shit.
Good shit.
Oh, Jaron has the honour of presenting one of our most prestigious awards that's unique to our show.
I swear after a couple more awards we'll start getting into some regular stuff, but for now...
These are the fun ones. People tune out after this.
Yeah, so we're doing... we've done this for... Obviously we took a break, but for the years we did this, we always did the Dewey Finn MVP Award.
I'm the Dewey Finn, by the way, I just got to get that.
Named after Dewey Finn, the MVP of School of Rock, potentially the MVP of the 2000s. Jack Black, incredible.
Born out of a running joke on our old podcast where we would argue over who was the Ned Schneebly of the group, because fuck Ned Schneebly, alright? He's a loser.
All my homies hate
You're the
Ned
Ned Schneebly,
Thanks,
by the
man,
way.
I appreciate
Alright.
that.
So this award's dedicated to me, the Dewey Finn
Alright.
of this show.
We didn't discuss this before going on screen. I don't
I've just
divide
decided
it.
to stitch him up.
So
Yeah, this is for who had the best year. We should
explain it.
For whoever had the best year. It could be an actor, a filmmaker, or whatever. Who just did the most or did the most quality shit. Like, yeah, just MVP of the year.
Multiple projects is the key to getting into this, but not just multiple projects, multiple good projects. It could be 4 good projects or 2 fucking great projects, but if you've had a banger year. So we have Anya Taylor-Joy, Colin Farrell, Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega, and Andrea Riseborough. And our winner, I don't care. Our winner is Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, 13 Lives, The Batman, and After Yang. What a year for Colin Farrell.
The year this guy had is what the Dewey Finn MVP award was designed for. Like, I could see so many people discussing, Colin Farrell MVP, because not just 4 great performances, but 4 diverse performances.
Yeah, and 4 great films. And like you said, diverse films, different films. You've got a lot of genre films in there. You've got some character studies. You've got these silent brooding films. Yeah, he did it all.
Yeah, and then like Jenna Ortega goes without saying, she absolutely became a megastar this year. Yeah. I just want to shout out one of Andrea Riseborough's underseen films this year called Please Baby Please, in which she gives an incredible performance. Seek that one out. Also great and campy in the Matilda musical.
Hell yeah, alright. And Anya Taylor-Joy as well. The Northman, she's great in that. The Menu, she's great in that.
Amsterdam, no one was really great in, but...
But, you know, she's Anya Taylor-Joy.
Riseborough was in that too. Like, no one escaped that movie.
No one escaped that movie. Except the people that didn't go to see it.
Not me. I went to see it, and I felt like a fool for it.
This isn't a category that is at the Oscars, but I think it's one that should be.
Yeah, this is one that we've been really passionate about, and often dominated by, like, Andy Serkis Planet of the Apes movies and stuff, but it's a sort of award that's dedicated to those types of performances that never get mainstream recognition, and this is, of course, Best Vocal or Mocap Performance. And the nominees are Antonio Banderas for Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, David Bradley for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Salma Hayek for Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Jenny Slate for Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, and Jake Gyllenhaal for Strange World. Look, it wouldn't be one of our award shows without Jake Gyllenhaal popping up somewhere.
We'll talk about it after, yeah.
But yeah, okay, the winner for this award is Antonio Banderas for Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Pretty unanimous, but I do want to shout out who would have been probably a pretty close second, David Bradley for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I didn't love that film, but he is sensational in it, and everything involving his character is like really, really emotional.
I did love that film, and I also think he's sensational in it. Yeah, that's a fucking great film, and yeah, he is. There's a lot of great performances in that. Say what you will about the kid that actually plays Pinocchio, I think he's pretty good, but everyone has different opinions on that. But David Bradley, without a doubt, is the standout in that, especially that opening scene that's revisited a couple of times. His kind of backstory, it's tragic, and you get all of that just through his performance and the beautiful animation and production design, obviously.
Yeah, that opening scene is just heartbreaking.
It is. And before we talk about Antonio, our winner, I will also say that Strange World was...
I didn't see it yet, but I need to. But I support this nomination because Jake Gyllenhaal...
It's underseen, and it's very creative. It takes a lot of big swings. It's not the best animated film of the year. In fact, it might not even show up again. But Jake Gyllenhaal, like he always does, just fucking brings it. He brings this vulnerability. He brings this childlike wonder, and also this determination and the sadness as well. Really
and proof that we can appreciate him as an actor even when we can't see him in his hot body.
That's right. What our winner... Antonio's been playing Puss in Boots in, 4 or 5 projects now, and he just gets better and better.
Since, like, the 2004, was that Shrek 2? And he was always a highlight of the franchise, but just, like, he's just great. He's fun and charming, and it was just a no-brainer when ticking off the nominations for me.
And I think he brings a different layer to Puss this time. He brings, a vulnerability to Puss in Boots, which hasn't... it's been touched upon, but never really explored like it was in The Last Wish, and I think he was great at it.
And he's old. He'd be, like, nearly 70 now if he isn't already, and he still plays it with such like youthful exuberance.
Yeah.
I think in my nominations list I had like 6 Puss in Boots people, so I like that film a bit. All right, Jaron,
Please, thank you.
Now we're into some familiar categories, so feel free to tune out for the text. It's where everyone goes to like go get lunch while they're watching the Oscars.
Grab some
or whatever.
popcorn if you want, but these are
No, we
categories
care.
that
We
we're
care
very
about this
interested
stuff.
in. Yes, absolutely. So we have our nominations
Did we say-
for Best Sound Editing. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Northman, and Top Gun Maverick. And our winner for Best Sound Editing is...
Really milking this one.
Top Gun Maverick! Let's go. Sound editing by Al Nelson. Yeah, I think it's what they did with it is absolutely incredible. It's not only obviously the sound of the jets flying when they're doing aerial combat. It's missiles. It's bird strikes. It's people talking and how to mix them in with the other sounds. The envo. Yeah,
You feel like you're there. It's all just so seamless. And
yeah, the way the final song is introduced in the last scene really makes it really elevates that song as well.
It does, because it's not a song I'm a big fan of outside the film, but the way it's used in the film is like actually gets me emotional.
Yeah, all of these are really great. You always have your war films, but even though it is a staple of this category, All Quiet did deserve that nomination. Fucking fantastic sound mixing. All right, let's move on, eh? This award is dedicated to a friend of the show who really wanted to be here today to announce this, but he, funnily enough, has a lot of visual effects editing to do for his freelance job. So, the Joshy DeBoer Award for Best Visual Effects. He's a director, he's a writer.
He's appeared on this award show before,
He
actually.
has.
Maybe I'll clip him in
He
here,
has.
but he had some great reaction shots, you know.
That's right. He recently had his directorial debut. He's a writer, an editor, but mostly a visual effects artist, which is why this is for him.
Shout outs to Joshy DeBoer.
Let's go.
The nominees for Best Visual Effects are... You didn't write down the VFX artists. Too many of them.
Oh, I actually typed it in, but there wasn't one supervisor. There was
Yeah,
like 20, so I was
yeah.
like, fuck that.
Alright. I mean, it's kind of obvious what's going to win, isn't it? The nominees for Best Visual Effects are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Terrifier 2, and Top Gun Maverick. And the winner is it's Avatar. Like, come on,
It's
it's Avatar: The Way of Water.
Avatar: The Way of Water.
What else was it gonna be? Honestly, I don't know what more needs to be said. You can say whatever you will about that film, but it looks incredible, and visually, James Cameron is doing it like no one else is right now.
Absolutely, and the stories behind all of these nominees are so great as well. So obviously, All Quiet on the Western Front looks so real. They also used a lot of practical elements as well, real tanks, stuff like that.
Which is always a plus for us.
Yeah, it was a great, maybe the best blend of the year between practical and real life, or second best, because Top Gun Maverick as well. And it's not just the blend for Top Gun Maverick; it's a lot of environment replacement, plate clean for the external cameras, and it was flawless. You can't pick a CG sequence from that film, and there is some, like the actual valley they travel through doesn't exist. It's all enviro replacement. Really great.
But if
paintings.
if we want to talk about a tip toward practical, then Terrifier 2 is some of the best gore makeup you will ever see on film, and we're really proud to have it as a nominee here.
Absolutely. They used animatronics and then practical gore inside the animatronics, and they made the mechanisms move some of the gore out, like they weaponized squibs, which is absolutely incredible. I'm really glad that we have a nomination which is purely for practical, because CG is far and few between in Terrifier 2.
Major awards bodies are afraid to recognize horror films.
Absolutely.
But you truly understand visual effects much more than I do.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I absolutely shout out to Damien Leone, who obviously wrote and directed the Terrifier films, but he also is the visual effects artist on them for practical, which is absolutely incredible. That's why he makes these films. It's what he's passionate about. It's what he wants to do.
And I'm so excited to see what he does with the third one with a bigger budget.
Absolutely. And we've got to shout out the story to Everything Everywhere. All of those effects made by, 4 or 5 people?
They're a core team of like 5 people doing it on just...
ridiculous.
Like on their computers with like Adobe After Effects and stuff.
Yeah.
They probably had some more heavy duty stuff than that, but a lot of it is just, these guys teaching themselves how to do things as they go along, and I think it's really in keeping with the spirit of that film.
Incredible, yeah. Alright, move on.
Oh, this is Jaron's.
Thank you. Makeup and hairstyling. Best makeup hairstyling. Again,
we won't be winning any awards for that.
We won't be. This is something that people find boring, but if you do think about it and the films nominated, they are so interesting, especially to us, so interesting. Makeup and hairstyling. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Terrifier 2, The Whale, and X. Lots
Horror representation.
Hell yeah. And our winner is, shouldn't have just talked about him, Agnosium. It's Damien Leone for Terrifier 2, Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Pretty much for everything we just said. It's ridiculous.
And also just the character design on Art the Clown is just, that's great makeup as well.
The Pale Girl as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. The hairstyles, especially for Sienna. So when it comes to costume and hairstyling, there's a big narrative push for that, which kind of drives the core story, and that has to be on point, and it is.
And again, just the gore makeup, like...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the prosthetics in the Batman and the Whale are so impressive,
X.
but it's stuff we see every year, and I think just we really wanted to recognise, something that really can make or break a film like this.
And true story, I went into X blind, didn't watch anything for it, didn't read about it, because I wanted to be I guess, mystified by the film. Didn't want any prior knowledge. Did not know that Mia Goth played that old lady when I first watched it.
Neither. Like, a guy in the cinemas told us after it, and I was like, holy shit!
Yeah, unreal. I did look at her
It
and
looked
was
like
what?
it kind of
She's
did look
kind
like
of-
a young person in old makeup, but did not know it was Mia Goth.
I thought that it was an old lady that they put more makeup on to make her heavily elderly, because obviously it did look like she was caked a little bit, but no idea did I have it with Mia Goth. And I was like, she's great. She's whoever this performer is really great. And obviously I couldn't pick them because that old lady doesn't exist. It's Mia Goth in makeup.
And
but
this
incredible.
is what got her that Dewey Finn nomination also.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Technically 3 great performances in 2 films.
Oh yeah, and All Quiet on the Western Front has lots of it's fucking
Lots
great.
of dirt and mud getting caked on the protagonist's face, and that's enough for me, honestly.
Yeah, seriously great. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Hey, this one's yours. Lots of come and see vibes from the makeup. on
yeah,
All Quiet on
because
the
he's
Western
so
Front.
youthful at the start.
Yeah.
Now, going on with another craft category, we have Best Costume Design. The nominees are Babylon, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, and Terrifier 2. Showing up. But our winner here is Babylon, costumes designed by Mary Zoffries. Now, again, it just feels like a bit of a no-brainer. It's probably going to lose the Oscar to Elvis.
Not showing up here. Not showing up here.
In one category, it will be. But yeah, I don't know. Babylon costumes. Margot Robbie looks good in that red dress.
Yeah.
But also, just think they get so much great period accurate
costumes
stuff.
are incredible. Yeah.
And it's just the amount of costumes there are in that film. Like just the parties and extras and stuff. The amount of work that must have gone into dressing everybody there, because so much of that would have had to have been made from scratch or like sourced. Like it's insane.
And it's not just the dresses that all the women in the movie wear. The suits are absolutely incredible. These early 1900s suits that the guys wear are just incredible again. Like yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is kind of an obvious choice, but it is fantastic.
And you could say it's just carrying over from the first, but there's so many new looks in that film, like even for the water people, or
Absolutely.
like, you know, the Wakandas have updated their style a bit, and that one I would actually like to see win the Oscar as well, because I think that has a chance. But
Jobu Tupaki, especially for Everything Everywhere, her costumes are sensational.
I think modern present day costume design does not get enough love from awards, and I think it's such a great example of just so many great unique weird looks that fit the characters in a psyche and where she is at all these points on the timeline in the film. Really, really great.
We've talked about this film more than any other award show on YouTube has, but for Terrifier 2 for costume design, it's not just art and the pale girl and the other people that show up. It's the fact that costume design drives the story forward. It's the crux of the story, because obviously the protagonist needs to the whole film is constructing this kind of cosplay costume that not to go into too much detail, that she gets inspiration from to try and defeat the clown, and she wears it by the end, and again with the pale girl and Art the Clown himself, and that kind of guardian angel cosplay, it's just incredible. So I guess the actual practicality of having those costumes made and what they mean to the plot just bolsters this to the top of my list personally.
I agree with everything he just said.
Easy. Let's continue.
Best production design is next. The nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, showing up a little bit.
Let's go.
Babylon, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, The Northman, and Top Gun Maverick. That's a great group.
Oh, yeah.
And the winner is Babylon.
It's gotta be. Again, the period piece.
Production design by... I can't read your handwriting.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Florencia Martin.
Martin.
The period-accurate design of the productions were absolutely ridiculous. And it's not just your classic period-accurate designs, it's period-accurate movie sets, which is something that's hardly ever seen these days. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, but it's so satisfying to us, like, nerds for the old world to see that stuff brought to life. And also, it's just so extravagant. It's rare you see a movie go that big and be that epic and have that many different sets and stuff. And I just really appreciate that Chazelle had the stones to make this movie happen.
I'm really glad that we both went for GDT's Pinocchio in production design, because handmade animation is so slept on in production design. Like, all of it is designed, every single set, specifically hand designed. So that shit needs to be paid tribute to.
We've got so many more glass barriers that we still need to break through for getting animated films into other categories. We did it with visual effects with Kubo, but just stop motion is such a beautiful art form, and there's so much that goes into it. It's not just people sitting at a computer and animating, which is equally difficult in its own right, but yeah, it's so impressive.
Del Toro said it best: animation isn't a genre for kids, it's a medium for all different kinds of films and filmmakers, which it
Quote by
absolutely
Jaron Herren, 2023.
And yeah, I think this is a great... You can also really start to tell the big players come out of the end of this award show so far, because
you got a couple that are showing up everywhere.
Top Gun, they're 3 films.
But shout out The Northman, which is a film that I don't love, but I can't fathom how people weren't incredibly impressed by the production design in that film. It's amazing.
Yeah, I did love that film, and again, I second that. The production design was incredible. Again, they built that village in the hills, which the majority of the film takes place in, and it's incredible. They built it to surround the action scenes around. They built it to have to separate, I guess, the kind of patriarchy within that village. It's ridiculously.
I can't believe Jaron liked the film with Björk in it more than I did. That's nuts.
Björk, for everyone that's not cultured.
Björk.
But Björk, yes.
It rhymes with Björk.
All right, thank you very
Jaron's
much.
up.
This is a big one. This is Best Original Song. This is a great...
If you're hoping for us to line up with the Oscars,
good luck. This was a great year for songs, wasn't it?
Yeah,
again,
absolutely. A lot I'm really passionate about this year.
Both our top 10 list of songs were things we wanted to fight for tooth and nail, because there were some great songs. And we had quite a lot of crossover and quite a lot of not.
Yeah.
So, these are the 5 that we ended up on. You Made It Feel Like Home, Bones and All.
For a minute, just for a minute, you made it feel.
Natu Natu, RRR. Fearless Hero, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
Who's brave and ready for trouble? Are you Who's so unbelievably humble? Are you Who's the guy who rolls the dice?
Clown Cafe, Terrifier 2.
The grub is downright gruesome, but your appetites obey. 'Cause food's a little funny, food's a little funny, food's a little funny at the Clown Cafe.
And New Body Rumba from White Noise.
Yeah, I need a new body, I need a new body. I need a bit of shape and a tone.
And our winner is Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's You Made It Feel Like Home for Bones and All.
The music in that film just didn't get enough recognition as a whole.
Not at
It's
all.
such a beautiful song.
Yeah, seriously. Again, it's another one, Top Gun Maverick, where the song is so thematic that it plays over the last scene and then through the credits, and it's so earned. I think that the song and its lyrics and its tone encapsulate what the film is about. It encapsulates the journey of both of the protagonists, and it's heartbreaking and it's satisfying. It is a beautiful song. And Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, the first Nine Inch Nails song in how many years? I'm so glad they
It's a
did
banger.
this. Yeah, I'm really surprised that this wasn't picked up and carried through a lot, but I guess a lot
The
of people
film
didn't
itself
salvage
just
the film.
didn't resonate with people. And I guess another one that I'd add to that being the first song in a while by a great artist in a film that wasn't picked up by any major awards is New Body Roomba from White Noise, which I'm obsessed with that song, and I think it's such an absolute banger. And then I think, Jaron, we got to let you talk about Clown Cafe.
We got to pay respect to
here.
Clown Cafe. What a story. So Clown Cafe was a scene that the studio didn't want in the film, but they told Damien Leone that he could include it if he raised the money for it externally. So created this kind of, I believe it was an Indiegogo, maybe a GoFundMe, and pretty much got so many people that I guess were fans of him and his first Terrifier film, maybe his short films, film fans in general, all collaborated to raise money for this scene, and they got to film it and include it in the movie as per conditions of the studio, and I'm so glad they did, because it's not only, again, a banger of a song. He got to include a lot of the side characters are in it are the highest paying patrons to this GoFundMe, so we got to pay respect to a lot of people that brought it to life. It's also thematic, like the Clown Cafe comes back at the end. It can be representative of Art's personal hell, also the protagonist's personal catharsis. She comes back there and learns to be herself. Again, like I said, the song just freaking slaps. The creativity in it, to have everything so stylized, these bright red squibs when everything turns dark really quickly, and then the change in demeanor when I guess the protagonist wakes back up and sees everything as really dark and grim and violent, and this time there's organs, there's children that have died. Like it's a lot more violent and less cartoonish than it originally was, and I think that encapsulates Art altogether, right? He shows
Now
up
we're just
and he's
talking
a
about the
goofy
scene,
bloke, and
not the song. But
yeah, what a banger of a song.
you should write a video essay on Terrified too, and I'll edit it. Like,
Thanks, man. I
it could be a
appreciate
banger.
that. Yeah, what a great song.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're probably spending a lot of time highlighting that film in this video, but like, who else is? No one else is.
No one else is. But great songs. Fearless Hero.
And Natu Natu gonna win the Oscar, so deserved. Absolute tune.
Amazing song, amazing tune.
Was very nearly nominated for Best Scene as well. Okay. Ooh. It's time for Worst Picture, ladies and gentlemen.
This is...
we don't like to spend too much time being negative, but we will.
Yeah, the art is obviously subjective, and I don't, I don't know, I guess critiquing a lot of films can be controversial, because again it's someone's interpretation of something that can be seen
and no one sets out to make a bad film.
No. So we got to pay respect to the people that did put their hearts on the line to make some of this happen, but I'm guessing the majority of this are people that really phoned it in, because these aren't great films in our opinion.
Our nominees for Worst Picture are Blonde, The Bubble, Elvis, Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, and Morbius.
More BS from Sony Studios.
Pretty solid crop. Many might not agree with Elvis, but neither of us were really fans of that film. But the winner is, by unanimous decision from the judges, Judd Apatow's The Bubble. Someone that we're both a big fan of, and I think has been a bit of a linchpin in our friendship, watching a lot of his comedies from like the last 20 years. But The Bubble, the Netflix original film about people making films during the pandemic, it's an abomination. It's out of touch. It feels like a boomer trying to relate to young people, and also like real strong showing of nepotism in there that doesn't feel all that earned. Any film that revolves around TikTok as a major plot point, it's not really going to be for me. But
this year had the best and worst uses of TikTok in a film. Best obviously for Bodies, and worst for this piece of shit.
We don't have a category for best use of TikTok in a film, but Pete Davidson's Samurai Sword in that would win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I do think that I was listening to a podcast with Apatow, and it's sad because he was talking so fondly about The Bubble and how he wanted to make a film about how to explore his feelings about personally being stuck in isolation and wanting to make films through it. And I'm like, but this just... None of those feelings came through for this. It was so superfluous. It was so surface
it felt
level.
smug.
And it wanted us to root for these characters that, again, were so smug, out of touch, annoying. Like, there was nothing to grab onto. There was nothing interesting on the screen. It was by the numbers. It's
so hard being a rich filmmaker. Like,
yeah, and
it had a bit of that air about it.
And they didn't lampshade it either. It just genuinely wanted you to feel upset for these rich people that had it kind kind of tough making a blockbuster.
And it's like, it's making fun of them, but in like a light-hearted slap kind of way. It didn't
Yeah.
really go that hard. Shout out to the one time I laughed, which was the James McAvoy cameo.
Yeah.
All right,
man. All
Next up, let's get back to a bit of positivity. More picture categories coming up for you.
Best Picture Animated. Here we go. Our nominees are Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Turning Red, Wendell, and Wild. Some great animation this year. A lot of showing up for hand animation, which is great. And our winner is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, producers Mark Swift and Andrew Adamson.
Look, if the Oscars aren't going to do it, we'll do it. Look, and this is, again, our nominees were lopsided by me being probably the least biggest fan of Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio in the world, which I'm sorry, but Puss in Boots, I think, is a really worthy winner, and it's one of my favourite animated films of the last few years. I think it does so much stuff that we as adults can relate to, and it takes a character who was always a fun highlight of the franchise, but gives him depth that not only works emotionally but feels earned and on brand for who the character is and what was established as. And on top of that, it's just so much fun. It's so beautifully animated. I'm so glad animated films are going back to a less hyper real style. Puss in Boots rules, and if you know me, you know how I feel about that shit.
Yeah, I love GDT's Pinocchio, but absolutely cannot be mad at Puss in Boots winning, because again, it was my second favourite of the year, which is why it was so unanimous. It's like everything you said. It's a really, really great film. All these other films were really great as well. Still potentially have a problem with Marcel the Shell being animated.
I don't really view Marcel as an animated film, but I'm just going off that everyone's
Yes.
classified it as that, and if it's eligible, it's one of my favourites because it's a damn good film.
So Paddington
So
3
it's
going to
in
be the next best animated feature?
Hey man, if it's eligible, I'll put it in there.
Yeah, well, all these films are great. All these films are great. Really happy to show them up. And Puss in Boots was so refreshing. Who would have thought that a sequel to Puss in Boots, 19 years after he first appeared in the Shrek franchise,
Insane.
would be this good? Some people there's a little bit of pushback, like, stop going over the top about his hyperventilating sequence. We've seen that in Finding Nemo. Yeah, you're right, we have. 20 years ago. These kind of things, these kind of themes are not explored enough in animated films this frequently, and it's another reason to point at the fact that this is not a genre. It is a medium.
The hype for the film is over the top, but it is 100% warranted. That's what we're saying
Let's
here.
go.
Now, another picture category, Best Documentary Feature. Now, this category is kind of Jacob heavy because I'm a dork and watched a lot of documentaries, and Jaron saw a few. But I think we're both pretty happy with the way this one turned out. The nominees are Ennio, Jackass Forever, Jackass 4.5, The Territory, and The Tinder Swindler. And the winner is And the winner is Jackass Forever. Producers Johnny Knoxville, Spike Jones, and Jeff Tremaine. Look, if you follow me on Instagram, these just won my documentary awards on there. I think this was a unanimous favourite for both of us.
It was, and Jackass is something that's not seen as documentary by a lot of people.
But it
it's
is.
given the side eye, but it absolutely is. It fits every single definition.
It's a film
of
about its own
documentary.
creation.
And it's outside of the technicalities. It's so damn fun. It's so wholesome watching a group of best friends just be fucking ridiculous together.
Especially people that we sort of grew up with,
Absolutely.
like watching. So it feels like they're our friends, kind of.
Yeah, there's almost a catharsis towards the end when they start winding down, and you see and obviously they're doing the thing that a lot of belated sequels do, where they're transitioning it into New Blood, and all of the New Blood, shout out especially to Poopies, they're
Poopy's
great.
the king. Honourable mention for best character.
They're great. It's really great, and it's about time they got a woman into the Jackass crew. She was great as well.
I wish they gave her more to do in it. That's like my one criticism of Jackass Forever. But, maybe we'll get some more. Who knows?
Who knows?
I
I
hope
hope.
Johnny Knoxville steps back a bit because I don't want him fucking dying.
Yeah,
but
like he nearly did here. Yeah,
I think the new guys are more than capable.
yeah, absolutely. Great documentaries and a great winner.
Absolutely. But yeah, great. All the other ones I recommend seeking out also, especially Ennio, which was so underseen this year. If you're a fan of film scores, it's just great to watch and soak them all in.
It's confusing that it got so little distribution and was underseen, because Ennio Morricone is like one of the linchpins of cinema scores.
I think it maybe didn't come out in the US. I'm not sure because it came out here, but
Sad.
just no one talked about it. The people who saw it loved it, but I don't know. It's a great documentary.
All right, here we go. Another picture one. at least for a little while. And this is Best International Language Film, which is, again, I saw a fair amount of international language films, and obviously not as much as Jacob. If I could have got to all those festivals, I would have had a crack, but because I do love them.
Yeah, he has a life though, so like.
but Jacob is the man, and I wish I could have seen as much as you. But the ones I did were really great, and we kind of did have a pretty much a consensus within our top 10 with the ones I did see. We had some crossover, so pretty happy with these nominations.
All right.
So we have All Quiet on the Western Front, EO, My Small Land, The Quiet Girl, and RRR. Some good nominees. And our winner is All Quiet on the Western Front. Producers Malt Grunet and Daniel Dreyfus. I'm so sorry
Damn
for that
German
pronunciation. Yeah. But what a great anti-war film. What a great crop of nominations. But All Quiet was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's shown up in like all of our tech categories, so there's big love for it here, and it's gonna win the Oscar, and deservedly so. And I'm really glad the film. It's a shame it came out on Netflix, because seeing it in the theater was one hell of a haunting experience. But I'm glad it's still resonating with people at home, and it means a lot more people got the opportunity to see it than they would have if it just got a standard release. But yeah, everything here is great. My Small Land no one saw, but I saw it at a festival. It's very beautiful. But an absolute sensation. India is so stupid for not submitting that for Oscar consideration, because that might have won.
Yeah,
probably not now with what a juggernaut contender
All Quiet really snowballed. It was really quiet, and there were rumours, it's quite good, it could be a player, and it's just gone bigger and bigger and bigger. And now that it's obviously swept the BAFTAs, and now with how big it is, I think it probably would have taken RR, but it would have been in competition.
Yeah.
Which it isn't right now.
But speaking of quiet, watch The Quiet Girl. It's gorgeous. One of my favourite films of the year. We know this.
Yes, great film, great film.
All right.
Personal friends with the director, aren't you?
Oh, I've chatted to him on Instagram a little bit, Although he stopped replying to me once I got the Oscar nom. He's too big for me now. All right. Next up is Best Editing. Oh, shit. Moved ahead because this is one of the bigger techs. Editing something, as a guy who's done a lot of editing myself, and as has Jaron, it's a really important and underrated part of the film process, and it's really where the story gets told. And our nominees are for Best Editing: After Sun, All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Top Gun Maverick. So no real surprises with any of these ones, but the winner is Tom Cross for Babylon. He's probably won a few of our awards, like La La Land was a big player for us, First Man. He's a genius, and just everything he does with Chazelle is pure magic. It's a 3 hour and 8 minute long film that I watched in a cinema 8 times and never got bored. That alone is enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like you said, the length of the film and the fact that it doesn't feel that long at all. It's always so entertaining, and it's always so fast-paced. It's such a kinetic film, and it doesn't get tiring. It just keeps firing. And all of these characters basically, start off opposite and then interconnect and then disconnect again. And the fact that we can follow every single one of them and never get bored or never wait for the next storyline to show up just shows that all of these are paced so well.
And then Everything Everywhere and Top Gun, the two duking it out for the Oscar, two incredible examples of editing for very different reasons.
Absolutely.
Everything Everywhere is a film that I just can't believe they even made it a coherent film.
Yeah.
It's an absolute magic trick. And then Top Gun is just, you give it editing for that opening montage alone.
Yes, absolutely. I think also one more thing for the winner with Babylon. I think if those particular storylines weren't paced so deliberately and so perfectly the way they were throughout the film, the payoffs to all of them would not have been as strong, and personally I felt the payoffs were perfect.
It's a film that really sneaks up on you how much you care about the characters, and it's really magic when a film does that. I think After Sun does that too. It's a film that really, you don't realise its impact until it's almost too late.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next award...
brother?
A big tech player. This is Best Cinematography.
Woo!
We have All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Batman, Top Gun Maverick, and EO.
My donkey boy.
A oath represent. And our winner here is Director of Photography Greg Fraser for The Batman.
Look, he won his Oscar for Dune, and I think with The Batman, he even outdid himself.
I'd agree, yeah.
Again, it's easily the best looking Batman film. It feels like it's leapt straight from the pages of a comic book. Like the use of reds and darkness and shadows, very gothic, very noir. And I think it just fits the brooding nature of the character and where he's at in his journey. And it's such a sumptuous film to look at. And again, a 3-hour film that there's never a boring image on screen.
And it sounds silly, but it is hard to light black for a film, which is why a lot of dark films take place. You can see the cinematography as a sort of a blue hue, or they use like an orange for contrast, which Batman does sometimes. But the fact that they got black and darkness so well, and they used it so much, is just a testament to the craft behind the film. It sounds silly, but it is really fucking hard to get.
And like
right.
Gotham City's such a place that's been represented in media so much, but the fact that they make it feel fresh and unique with this film is awesome. I think it by far has the best cinematography of the year in this author's humble opinion.
Yes, I would say Top Gun Maverick is also up there with the Batman, but for me personally, but the Batman is absolutely nothing to sneeze at. It's beautiful. It really feels like when you're down there on the streets of Gotham that every single building is so tall they block out the sun and there's nothing in there. Again, the use of contrast as well. Obviously, one scene that's highlighted so much is that the sundown scene on top of the roof, and it's all black. You get that beautiful contrast. Yeah, chef's kiss. Beautiful stuff.
And then All Quiet, that's going to win the Oscar, and deservedly so. There are moments in that toward the end where I'm like, this is almost some Revenant level shit. Like, the forest, really beautifully made film.
Fuck yeah.
Alright, we are up to Best Original Score, another big tech player.
Our last tech player, I think.
I don't think we're going to have too many similarities with the Oscars here, but, I think our picks are better.
Me too.
Alright, the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front. Babylon. The Batman. Top Gun Maverick. And EO. Are those the exact cinematography nominees? The exact same nominees
Here
for
we
score
go.
and
Cinematography and score showing up.
Weirdly, those two categories often go hand in hand for me. I don't know why. I just think when you're going hard in one of them, you're going hard in the other.
That's right. I guess the best
craft.
composer can craft the best sound to the film. So.
Also, I just want to shout out a score that narrowly missed the nominations here, and that's Bones and All.
I was about to say so.
Yeah.
Trent Reznor and Attica. I actually don't know why it's not here. Come to think of it, but Bones and All is brilliant.
I have EO really high.
Yeah,
I love EO.
Trent Reznor and Atticus, I love you.
But the winner is Babylon. I mean, duh.
Yeah.
Justin Hurwitz, absolute goat. He's done like 4 major film scores, and I would already consider him one of my favorite film composers of all time. And I would already consider Babylon one of my favorite film scores of all time. I've been listening to it so much. It's become what I've been defined by in my friend group. Where a friend's birthday party, they're making a group playlist, and one of them had to stipulate from the beginning only one Babylon song, Jacob. All right, and I'm like, fuck. But yeah, it absolutely. So I can't believe. Is a film score even allowed to be this much fun?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I don't know. But I hope he gets another deserved Oscar win for this.
Yeah, he better. I mean, he might lose to All Quiet, which is a great score. We nominated it too, and I love how unique that score is for a war film. It's almost industrial and electronic at times.
Absolutely. I got also shout out the Batman.
Because no one else fucking did.
No, the Batman score is fucking beautiful. Again, like a lot of people have pointed out, it has a lot of Empire vibes. The dun, like the kind of Star Wars Empire vibes, and it's beautiful.
I never thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah. The instruments they use as well are just not akin to a regular comic book film score. It differentiated itself, and it's already iconic after one showing. if in 10 years they do because of course they fucking will, another crossover movie, and you see the shadows and you hear that score go off, goosebumps around the cinema.
Oh my god, yeah, it's just iconic. And, you know, not part of the score, but just shout out to the great use of soundtrack with the Nirvana.
Oh, I love that needle drop.
Yeah, such a great needle drop. Perfectly fits the cheesy angstiness that they went for with
Something
this
in the
iteration.
Way is a banger, yeah.
Alright, moving on.
Here we go, we're out of text now.
Above the line.
Here we go. Best adapted screenplay. The Batman. Bones and All. Top Gun Maverick. Women Talking. And The Quiet Girl. And your winner is Luca Guadagnino for Bones and All.
Look, it's one of the films this year that we both just fully adored, and what I love about the script of that film is just that I haven't read the book yet, but I'm very excited to. I have it, so I'm sure it's a great adaptation, but I just love the tone of it. It feels like it's dramatic and emotional, but it is also kind of campy and has this pulpy 80s-ness to it. Like, it feels like it's something out of a Stephen King novel, you know? The way the characters talk, they have a very specific vocabulary, and there are words that feel like they just exist in universe in relation to the cannibal lingo and stuff. And I think the tone's such an important part of that film, and the words are as much a part of that as anything.
Absolutely. I think it's as contemplative as it is complex and violent, which is something that not many films have pulled off this well. And again, every single character you care about at the end, you're terrified of specific characters, you're in love with specific characters, you understand every motivation, where every character is coming from, and the tragedy behind them, and the way that they can, the screenplay can drop elements of a backstory, which kind of fill you in, I guess, a little bit, and you're like, okay, I understand where this guy's coming from, and then later down the line, very naturally, they bring up more of that, and it can completely recontextualize all of it. Incredible.
Fully agree, and obviously we've talked enough about all these other movies. I will shout out Women Talking, because obviously it's not a big tech player for us, but it's an incredible screenplay, and I hope it's going to win the Oscar, just if that film can win one Oscar. And I think it really does so much to keep you engaged for a film that is just based around a single discussion. And like Batman and Top Gun, two great blockbuster scripts. Happy to see them recognized in this category.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, blockbusters are another kind of like horror that when they're really, really good, they should be recognised, but they're not.
Logan got an Oscar nom. They do it. They're cool sometimes like that.
I mean, the whole Best Picture 5 turned into a 9/10 because of The Dark Knight. So
yeah,
we've made one step of progress in 17 years.
And look, we give a lot of shit to a lot of the ones that get made, and rightly so. But when they're done well, whew,
they're done well.
Yeah. All right. Best original screenplay.
Here we go.
You know, no existing IP needed. Our nominees for original screenplay are After Sun, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and To Leslie. And the winner is Damien Chazelle for Babylon. Maybe unprecedented, and not a film that's been called out for screenplay the way Banshees and Everything Everywhere have, but it's just, again, the film in there that we both unanimously loved. And I think, sure, I guess it's divisive, and if you don't like the film, you're not going to like the screenplay, but I think we like all these other elements, and, you know, the film is so entertainingly structured, and so much of that comes from the screenplay, because the film is so obviously tightly choreographed. Everything is so pre-planned out in advance, and the screenplay is as much a part of that as anything is the score and cinematography and direction. And Chazelle's an underrated writer. I know he's known as this showy director, but, like, you know, he got a screenplay nom for Whiplash, and did La La Land win screenplay? It might have, but yeah, he is a great writer, and I'm sure if he wrote for other people, they would create some amazing stuff out of it too. But you know, all of these are amazing nominees.
Absolutely.
Shout outs to To Leslie as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it did win screenplay, actually, but yeah, shout out to
La La Land didn't? Probably not. Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, again, everything you said about Babylon is beautiful. And again, what we've talked about a few times is After Sun. The powerfulness of the power of that screenplay comes right towards the end, but it's not the end that makes it powerful. It's all the subtext and the preamble that comes before the end that makes that gut punch so powerful. Really great exploration of those very dark themes and these two characters. You don't know where the story's going until it gets there. And again, all these other scripts really great, but they've been talked about ad nauseum in the public domain, so we'll talk
and
about
by
our
us
niche
in
ones.
this video.
Yeah.
I guess we haven't really talked about Banshees a lot. We both love that film, and
Yes.
that's the film where I'm just like, if I'm giving a 10 out of 10 technical score, it's that. It's just a perfectly written film, perfectly structured, great character writing. Martin McDonagh's the man.
There's no one that could write that script except Martin McDonagh. Obviously, he has the vernacular and the connection to Ireland, but it's also his way of writing characters. This darkness they have, but it's hidden by a veneer of like sometimes humility and sometimes just like narcissism. Like they can really go back and forth on a dime, which is something that's so hard to do. And I think he also has a very specific way of writing characters in which, like for example, Brendan Gleeson will just drop. He'll be so full of himself and he'll just drop a reference about Mozart and he's using that to prove, I guess, how above everyone else he is, and then he'll just be fucking schooled. I guess there's a lot.
Well,
of
they
that
don't,
back
so
and
there
forth.
goes that theory. Also, just Colin Farrell's speech about being nice.
Absolutely.
Oh, so beautiful.
Tragedy hidden by humour is what Mark McDonagh's best for.
He's the king.
Yeah, he's the best for it, and it's really great here. Here we go. We're getting onto the big dogs now. Best acting ensemble. Thank you, SAG. We will steal that, and this is a great category for us to dive into. I'm really a fan of all of these. So, for best ensemble, we have Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Bones and All, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, and Top Gun Maverick.
She had 3 out of 5 nominees with SAG. That's not bad.
I think.
Sorry, The Fablemans. Jeez, I think we've goose-egged The Fablemans.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, because it wasn't.
Well, it's good.
It's a good film,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think if you took a poll, these are probably 5 films with 5 of the most nominations at our. These are just the ones that we love the most, and ensembles really do linchpin the film together.
Yeah, it is kind of a minor Best Picture award, and
Yeah.
especially it has become that in the Oscar race. I'm talking about the Oscars too much in this video. They're always on the brain, you know.
Our winner is Babylon.
I mean, it's beginning to sweep a little bit, but look, it is my personal number 1 ensemble cast, and whether it shows up in my acting categories, I don't know, but I just think there are so many great people giving even like single scene performances in this thing, like Spike Jonze as the German director,
Yes.
Chazelle's wife as the female director in the film. She's a highlight in the film, a good example of nepotism. It can work, and PJ Byrne giving like an absolute highlight firecracker performance in the Hello College scene, and
Tobey Maguire is in a couple of scenes.
even
and he's
to play with the
absolutely
spitting
excellent.
jump scare.
Yes, absolutely. And then obviously
The leads.
your key leads, yeah. So your Margot Robbie, who I think this might be one of her best performances, if not her best. She's absolutely magnificent in this. She does it all, and Brad Pitt as well. Really does it.
I'm
all. Really
shocked
brings
by
it
how
home.
much I loved Pitt in this film. I wasn't expecting to.
Absolutely. This is, to me, it's been said, but to me, this is what everyone else saw in Pitt during Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought he brought it all here. I thought he brought that emotional complexity and also the bravado that Pitt's known for. I think he really broke that down in this one.
I actually agree. I mean, I loved him in Hollywood, but I actually
Absolutely.
think he's better in this and
Yeah.
expands upon it.
He's all time in both, for sure. But yeah, I really loved him in Babylon.
And like Diego Calva, what a find.
Oh
That's
my
just a
God.
great piece of casting, taking someone who's maybe not a complete unknown, but definitely unknown to the mainstream. And I think he had to learn to perfect his English just for this film.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
he
I'm so glad he's blowing up now. He's booked about 2 major film roles right after this that are coming out in the next couple of years.
Yeah, put this
Really
dude
keen
in
for that.
everything. And just on top of that, he just seems like a cool guy in real life.
Absolutely.
But yeah, just such a wonderful cast and such a big cast. And I think, it's what an ensemble should be.
We've talked about the other 4 heaps, but great ensembles in all of them as well.
Dead set.
Absolutely.
Individual acting categories. It's time for supporting actress. Get ready for maybe a few left field picks in some of our acting categories, but we're really happy with how these turned out. And some of the only categories that were just really clean to choose. There weren't a bunch of ties for nominations
yeah,
and
they
stuff. The nominees for supporting actress are Jessie Buckley for Women Talking,
Is this really how we are to decide the fates of all the women in this colony? And just another vote where we put an X next to our position. I thought we were here to do more than that.
You mean talk more about forgiving the men and doing nothing?
Everything else is insane. But none of you will listen to reason.
Kerry Condon for the Banshees of Inisherin.
Wild how? Angry? Because I'm getting angry now, I can tell you.
Not angry, wild.
You just keep saying wild, Dominic.
Wild?
My brother told you, didn't he, that you'd be out on the road if you started talking stupid to me.
He said creepy, not stupid.
Well, you failed on both counts, haven't you?
Claire Foy for Women Talking.
We know that we are bruised and infected and pregnant and terrified and insane, and some of us are dead. We know that we must protect our children regardless of who is guilty.
Stephanie Shu for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Why not go somewhere where your daughter is more than just this?
And Janelle Monáe for Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery.
And the end of Miles' prime. And you did get your wish to forever be remembered in the same breath as the Mona Lisa.
Oscars went no women talking, we went two. But the winner of our award is Claire Foy for Women Talking, which surprised even us.
Yes, yeah, really.
I think no, go on.
Yeah, sorry. I think this is one where both of us had her like second or third or fourth in our 10. I think I had her a wee bit higher, but she just, as a matter of points, she just climbed to the top, and you can't complain about it. She's fantastic in this film. She brings such complexity, such emotion. That one speech she has about her daughter, it brought tears to my eyes. And like you said, we put two people from Women Talking in this. We could have had three.
It's such, and I'm so glad someone from that film won this award, because I think it's such, there's so much incredible acting going on in this film, and it's a shame that it wasn't really recognized by anyone. But yeah, you could like draw a name out of a hat from that cast and get an incredible performance. Like shout out Rooney Mara also, who would be the lead, but she's sensational. And but Claire Foy, I think she may have even won our award for First Man.
I think she did.
Robbed of an Oscar nomination both times, but I've always been a very big fan of hers, and it's been great seeing her come back to acting, because she took a few years off, and she's really sensational in this, and in many ways it brings like the anger that you'd have for this film, because every character sort of brings a different emotion to the table. But yeah, Kerry Condon, I still hope she wins the Oscar. Amazing.
Great, yeah.
And Stephanie Shu is the one who should be getting nominated for Everything Everywhere. I'm sorry, Jamie Lee Curtis, I love you, but
she did get nominated.
Hey?
She did get nominated.
No, that's what I mean. She should be nominated. Jamie Lee Curtis shouldn't.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. She's the one who should be there. But yeah, Janelle Monáe, and I think you're a huge
Absolutely.
fan of
yeah, I think that's
bit.
not even a dual performance. I think she gives three wildly different performances in that film, because she plays twins in Glass Onion, Knives Out Mystery. She plays one twin, she plays the second twin, and then she has to play the second twin, failing to disguise as the first twin. It's absolutely incredible. Again, when we talk about complexity, playing two completely different personalities, and when she switches, you can change the scene, and without even looking at costume or hairstyle, you can tell that she's the other sister, just because of the personality change, the way she carries herself, what she leads with. I believe one twin, it seems like she led with her shoulders, the other with maybe her head, and it's absolutely incredible. That performance really blew me away, and I felt like that should have got more respect. But yeah,
she's
really
straight up one of the best musicians turned actors that we have right now, and I hope she keeps killing it.
So, now we have Best Supporting Actor, and I'm really glad I get to read this out. Best Supporting Actor, again, like Jacob said, we have some left field choices, more than one. We have Barry Keoghan for Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so. Just thought I'd ask on the off chance, you know, like faint heart and that. Oh, there goes that dream.
Brad Pitt for Babylon.
Eleanor, you peddle gossip. You don't make anything. You don't know what it is to put yourself out there. You're just a cockroach. I've been counted out before. This isn't new.
Ki Hoi Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
All day. I don't know what the heck is going on, but somehow this feels like it's all my fault.
Mark Rylance for Bones and All.
So you're not getting in? Fuck you. Then. Fuck you, Missy.
And David Howard Thornton for Terrifier 2. And our winner is... He continues the sweep. It's Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Another important precursor for the great man, but it's just one that, how can you not vote for that guy?
Oh my god, yeah. The sincerity in that performance is just fucking beautiful. It's so tragic without him ever having to go to that place, you know what I mean? He plays it all from happiness and a willing to be optimistic.
And it was like, it was originally just a novelty of like, oh look, Ke Huy Quan's back, fun. And then you watch the film, you're like, he is the emotional anchor of that film, even though he's not like the main character. He's the emotional anchor of that film, and it came away being so many people's favourite part of it. That monologue he gives in the middle, where he's like, I don't know what's going on, like, just become, what?
Even though you continue to break my heart, in another universe, I'd love to just do taxes with you.
You know, that line is just like pure, like it did the rounds all over Twitter and social media and everything.
For a good cause.
Yeah.
It's great.
But yeah, it's such a great performance and a great piece of representation, and just great to have this guy back. There are a few people that we sort of got back from relative obscurity this year, and really wonderful. But you know, others here. Brendan Gleeson, a sad omission. You know, I would love to see him here, but Barry Cogan, I think, is my favourite of the two Banshees boys anyway, and so stoked to see him win a BAFTA for that shit.
Absolutely, that was an incredible speech as well, a great story.
But yeah,
a really great story behind him.
We've got a left field man here, though.
We've got two, I think. Mark Rylance for Bones and All.
Oh yeah, I was talking about David, but yeah, Mark Rylance
we'll
is like one of my absolute favourite performances by anyone this year. It is, I can't think of a more memorable performance.
He's unhinged, he's tragic, he's funny, he's obviously got some sort of disability that he acts with, but in no way does he lean on that. It's just a part of who he is, and yeah, it's absolutely incredible. But let's talk about the great man. David Howard Thornton brings so much fucking personality, Art the Clown, and he doesn't say a word. He mimes the entire performance. He's hidden behind makeup and a costume, and yet he shines through it. And
he makes that makeup come to life, though.
Absolutely. He turns Art, this terrifying clown that disembodies people, into this goofy, funny, at times cute little clown that'll just pop out of a food van and wave at the kids, and then pull out a machine gun and kill them all. And the way he plays with those glasses is all time. Terrifier 2 is 2.5 hours long, and it does not work if Art the Clown doesn't steal every fucking scene he's in. And he does. And again, this is one I'm really glad we got to highlight.
Yeah, stoked.
Great performances. What a great supporting actor year.
Best Lead Actress. The nominees are Cate Blanchett for Tar. Mia Goth for Pearl.
Killing's easier than you'd think. Till recently, with Mama and the boy from the picture house, they were different. They were more meaningful. I hurt them so they too might know what it feels like to suffer, but poor Daddy didn't deserve that. I wish I hadn't done what I did.
Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie.
Tell me I'm good. Tell me I ain't a piece of shit.
Margot Robbie for Babylon.
Cut. Hiya, I'm Nellie Leroy. So we going again?
And Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
No matter what, I still want to be here with you. I will always want to be here with you.
And the winner is Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie by unanimous decision from the two judges. And look, I know even after the Oscar nomination, I still don't think this performance is getting enough love. We were both just blown away by her work here. She's someone who has been so great in supporting roles and in so many unique indie films over the years. But this is like, yeah, it's her big character. I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought here.
No, I was doing that. I've done that like 10 times.
Yeah. No, it's just, it feels like something that shows her, because she's played so many weirdos and everything, and this is her just playing a real human being, laying all her cards on the table and really putting her heart on her sleeve there. And there's a lot of like yelling that is characteristic of these types of alcoholism dramas, but it's like as the film goes on, kind of her performance gets smaller, and the most powerful parts are when it gets reflective. Like there's a scene where she's in a bar and she hears a song that kind of reflects her situation, and you know, we know it's a cliche, the writers know it's a cliche, she knows it's a cliche, and the way the film morphs that scene into being something really moving is a testament to her performance, and just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Mia Goth said it herself, she's a star. She's absolutely incredible in Pearl. The way that she hides...
And X. She was close to being on my list for X too.
The way she hides, especially in Pearl, for me, the way that she hides this pain and this anguish and this eager to be known behind this, like, always optimistic persona is just incredible, because she is unhinged, and you don't see it unless except for the points where Mia Goth deliberately lets it leak out, and it's incredible.
And it really does feel like it's leaking out, like it's such a messy performance.
Oh yeah.
In the best way possible, and she's scary.
Yeah, she is literally scary. One of the scariest villains of the year.
Went to that guy she's saying, she's like, "You're not gonna leave me." I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ, don't leave her." I don't know what she's capable of.
And I think a testament to her performance is that she's so fucking scary and she does so many horrible things, but you still root for her, man. You still want her. You still want Pearl to fucking make it.
Yeah, she's already an iconic character, and for good reason. Absolutely. And then the other ones here just go without saying. Blanchett and Yeoh duking it out for that Oscar, both incredible, and Margot Robbie Babylon, as you said before, one of her best performances.
Best tear acting of the year, yeah. All right, let's continue.
Single tear.
All right, we're down to our last 3 awards. Thank God for you. We have Best Actor, Diego Calva for Babylon.
You go to Mexico without me.
What the fuck am I gonna do without you? I'm not going anywhere without you. ¿No entiendes? Entiende. Te amo. Te amo, Nelly.
Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin.
You used to be nice. Or did you never used to be? Oh, God. Maybe you never used to be.
Brendan Fraser for The Whale.
It's gonna be okay.
I need to go.
Mary, she doesn't
have to go.
have anyone else. I need to know that I have done one thing right with my life.
Jonathan Majors for Devotion. And Paul Mescal for After Sun.
Be whoever you want to be. You have time.
Solid list.
Really top 5. And our winner is Brendan Fraser for The Whale.
Look, yeah, we're not always going out of the box, and we love a good comeback story.
Sometimes the award shows just get it right, man, because again, it is a great story, but outside of that, even if Fraser had been around for the past 20 years, still making popular movies every single year, this would still stand out, because this performance is fucking incredible. It's transformative, and he, again, like I said, with David Howard, he's not hidden behind his prosthetics. He's not his prosthetics. He comes out of that, and it doesn't work without him, because he's in every single scene.
The Whale's a film that I'm not really a big fan of, but Fraser transcends every issue I have with that film, and he so much heart shines through everything in that film, all the makeup and everything, and he is truly incredible. And every time I got emotional in that film, it was all down to his beautiful work. And yeah, it's not just a comeback, it's not just a career award, it is a legit excellent performance that shows everything he's capable of, and I really hope he wins the Oscar over the other person he's competing with. But
you can really feel a decade of pain behind every single one of his lines. It's so lived in.
Even as he said in some of his award speeches, he's brought a lot of himself and his own experiences to the character as someone who has, felt unloved or dragged down by whatever kind of weight, a physical weight, an emotional weight, everything. And yeah, he's amazing.
Shout out to, and this isn't always a good thing, some people like Jared Leto would show that to the world, but the way that he transformed his body for this performance as well, he added 20 to 30 pounds on for the role before they fit the prosthetics to him, because the prosthetics team told him that it wouldn't entirely look accurate unless he bigged himself up as well, so he really dived into this.
It just would have been exhausting to put on every day too. Everyone else, Deo Calva, we'd love to shout out too, because it's someone that a performance that didn't really take off awards wise, but I actually think he gives my favourite performance in Babylon. And because he is us, but there's so much emotion in his eyes, and his character transforms so naturally throughout the film too. He ages, but there's not a lot of actual physical makeup going on there. It's just the little subtle things, and even just his eyes feel so youthful and full of wonder and hope at the start, and to see that gradually snuffed out throughout the film is really heartbreaking.
And then it's like he takes 2 hours and 50 minutes of pain and heartbreak and redemption, and ultimately like giving up on everything, and then he takes that nearly 3-hour performance and encapsulates it into a 1-minute scene towards the end, which is just fucking ridiculous.
And his face at the end is basically what my face looked like at the end of that film.
Just ridiculous.
And Paul Mescal, of course, so glad he got the Oscar nomination. Probably my favourite lead male of the year. Moving on to Best Director.
Well, you.
Best Director is our next category. So 2 left. We're nearly at the end. The nominees for Best Director are the all-male nominees for Best Director. Charlotte Wells snubbed.
Sorry, Wells.
Okay. Edward Berger for All Quiet on the Western Front. Damien Chazelle for Babylon. Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Luca Guadagnino for Bones and All. And Joseph Kosinski for Top Gun Maverick. And the winner is... actually, I think something's missing here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I completely forgot.
Alright, the winner for Best Director is Edward Berger. It's Damien Chazelle. Come on.
It's got to be.
I think he's won this award every single time we've done this show. He's just someone who gets it.
He's all time, and we really connect to his films.
And yeah, I know it's a film that didn't get mainstream recognition, but I know a lot of people, it's a film that's gonna have a big cult following years from now. It already kind of does, and I think if you love the film, then you can't not highlight his direction as the strongest element of it. It is just, again, so much formal control over everything, and yes, it's ambitious and indulgent, and maybe you could have cut half an hour, but should he have? No, because it's all awesome, it's all entertaining, it's all awe-inspiring, it's big, it's epic, it's ambitious, like no one else is doing it right now.
He's a master of his craft. He's in control of every single second.
And he's still so young.
He is. It's incredible. Again, he's in control of every single second of this film. He knows what it wants it to be before it actually goes to the screen. And his ambition to do this after one relatively small film and a second film that, definitely upped the stakes in terms of production. But this is an epic. It is an epic. And his control over that is unlike most people have these days. Unless you're a Cameron or a Scorsese who's been doing this for 50 years, he could do it.
Yeah, and I hope he keeps getting the budgets to do stuff like this now, but I'm worried that he won't, because this movie did not do great. But nothing super crazy about the rest of our lineup here, but again, just shout out Guadagnino, because, it's...
Yeah, not getting enough respect, and again, like Giselle, he has control over every single bit of this, and it's a much more humble directorial effort. It's very quaint, but it's also so moving, so powerful.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. It's time for the big dog, our last award of the year, the last award for every award show, and that's Best Picture. These are the 10 films that, again, we agreed on, that kind of encapsulated our taste in film together as a couple of mates.
You'll probably be able to tell what a lot of these are by the rest of this video.
Definitely. Let's go. We have After Sun, All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, The Batman, Bones and All, It's a good year for A and B films. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. The Quiet Girl. To Leslie. And Top Gun Maverick.
Representation.
Yeah, here we go. And
Terrifier 2, Hard Omission.
yeah, that's right. And our winner for this year, our favourite film of the year. Producers Mark Platt, Matthew Plouffe and Olivia Hamilton. It's Babylon.
Babylon, I mean, what else? Based on the rest
You saw
of
it
this,
coming
you know?
halfway through the video, yeah.
Yeah, and look, it's Damien. That's why Damien Chazelle keeps winning these awards, because even when it's not on one of the year, it's his films that we both always really love and connect with. I mean, it is my favorite film of the year. If you're watching this channel, you probably know that. But
And it was my top 5, definitely.
yeah, it's what can we say that hasn't already been said about Babylon? You
We've
got
talked
anything?
ad nauseum about it, to be honest. I just think that it. I saw it with. I'll say that I saw it with a group of 6 or 7 mates. I'd say 5 of them aren't really film guys. A couple of them are, but I dragged them along to it anyway. I told them it's a 3-hour epic, so you're just going to sit through it and just fucking enjoy it. And they loved it.
Yeah,
and which
ditto
is
for most of the people I took to see it, including non-cinephile types, and I think it's a testament to how fun the film is.
Yes, absolutely. It's I think every single person that I went to see it with had a different favourite aspect of the film. Someone loved the score the most, someone loved the cinematography the most, someone loved the acting the most, someone loved the costumes the most, and I think that is what makes this such a well-rounded film. Every single aspect of it is at the top of its game.
And it's a film that I guess made me really reflect on my journey as a film lover, because it's been about a decade since I really got into movies. I've kind of wanted to make them my whole life, but just the way the film ends and it explodes the narrative into a million pieces, and it just kind of makes us reflect on our own place within film history as people. If you've so much as shot a video on an iPhone, you have etched your way into film history, and I think there's something really beautiful and tragic about the way the film presents that, and it's a film that just, it feels so purely catered to where I'm at in life and what my tastes are as a film lover.
Yeah, I really love this crop of films. We have some fun films, some contemplative films, some action films, some horror, and again, I think this really encapsulates all of those genres, don't you? Babylon.
And that's just Everything Everywhere All at Once that encapsulates all those genres.
I think Babylon just does all of that so well.
I mean, Babylon does horror better than most horror films this year with the Tobey Maguire sequence.
Yeah, absolutely. Tobey Maguire playing the Joker. Yeah, really, really great.
And, like, do you want to speak to Top Gun Maverick a little bit as your favourite film of the year?
Oh,
I think
yeah.
we've earned that right.
I think I just want to say that, Top Gun Maverick, for me, similar to Babylon with Jacob, might have been the best film I've seen in maybe 5 to 10 years. I absolutely loved every single part of it. And I like the original Top Gun movie. It's not one of my favourites, but Top Gun Maverick, truly
Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick, I'm tripping on my words. I just love it so much. I've got so much to think, to say about this film, so much thoughts about it. I've watched it again 4 times, 3 times, twice in the cinema, twice at home, and it's one I never get bored by. Every single scene is my favourite scene in the movie. I think the score is beautiful, the cinematography, obviously, I talked about the VFX, all the performances, which is why I had it at the top of my list in Ensemble. Again, every single scene is my favourite scene in the movie. Both original songs, really great.
I Ain't Worried, underrated banger.
I Ain't Worried is really great, nearly made its way into our top 5. I honestly can't say too much about it because it's just word vomit at the moment. I have so much to say about how much I love Top Gun Maverick. It really spoke to me. I think that it's a blockbuster film with the power of an indie, which is something we don't see a lot. And again, like has been said, it really did save cinema. It's probably going to beat Avatar: The Way of Water in terms of domestic gross, which is just unprecedented.
Good.
I think it spoke to a lot of people. It is now the highest grossing movie in Australia ever released. We
got a lot of middle-aged dads in this country.
That's right. I took my wife to this movie. She's never seen Top Gun, and she's not really an action kind of girl. She likes her contemplative films, her dark films, but she loved the shit out of it as well. The cinema was flawed. Every single person was silent in it. There were some gasps. There were some old men that clapped at the end, and I saw it in its second week, not even its opening night. So I think this is a testament to how powerful this film is, not just to me and my film journey, but to a lot of people's. Yeah, I fucking love Top Gun. Like I said, you there's no frame you can pick out and go, okay, that was digital. You just can't do it.
Genuinely, it's probably why I didn't nominate it in visual effects.
Yeah.
Because you can't see them. So that's not me, because they're amazing.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. It's artistry. Joseph Kosinski has no right to have directed a film this well, and Tom Cruise has some controversy attached to him. He always will.
But I have nothing but respect for him as an artist.
Yeah, there's absolutely no denying that he's an artist that does everything for the audience. Like he says repeatedly, he does everything not for himself, not for his projects, not for the limelight, but because he believes it's the best way to experience something in the cinema. The sound design, fucking Jesus, incredible. It felt like I was in a pressure cooker for 2 hours. I loved it.
Scientology is cringe, but look, if that's what it takes to inject these Mission Impossible movies into my eyeballs, then fine, keep doing what you're doing, brother.
In saying that, I do think, maybe this is getting political, maybe we'll talk about it off camera, but yeah. Anyway.
Okay, alright, he's leaving it at that.
I'll say to you now, we can not include it, but I do think that it was a low blow for the jokes at the Golden Globes.
Oh, no, I agree.
Because he did something...
him returning his globes was actually a cool thing that he did.
Yes, he did something admirable, which is go against the sexual assault claims, and also the fact that they didn't have any...
people of colour in the voting
people of
body.
colour in their zero in their 80-person body. So he returned his globes to kind of go against that. They kind of pushed it off, and then eventually kind of course corrected, and then made fun of him for doing that, which I think was a bit low blow. But
and then proceeded to not have very progressive winners at all. Yeah. So maybe have they changed? I don't know. That's not too political. That's just award season political.
I know,
that's
but
our little dorky
it could be a fire. It could be a comments firestorm.
But yeah, I agree. Those jokes were in bad taste. Make fun of Scientology all you want, because as I said, it's cringe. But
it seemed like everyone in the room was like, "Oh yeah, he returned his awards because you're a racist and you're sexist, and now you're making jokes about him." So it was a bit of bad taste. You could tell there was a producer in there that wanted to sneak that in. But
on that note, Damien Chazelle once again cleans up the Children of Film Awards. I don't know what we're actually calling these now.
Just an idea awards, the Jacob Awards. I don't know.
The Jacob and Jaron's Film Awards, whatever this video is called. That's it.
Nice.
But thank you so much for watching it. I hope you enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
We had a great time not just filming this, but over the last couple of weeks putting this together and watching a lot of films, because Jaron's been so busy lately with having a wife and kid and making movies and stuff. But it's been great to see you get the bug back for watching a lot of new releases again this year. And so hopefully we're going to do this again next year. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if it was too long. It probably was. let me know if there are any categories you want to see us add. But overall, thanks for watching, and we highly recommend checking out all the movies we highlighted in this video. Jaron, it's been great to see you, brother.
Oh, man, the
really
best.
A throwback to old times, and it's great we were able to get together in person for this. Is there anything you want to plug for the people? Where do you want to send the people today?
Quickly want to say that it's an honour to be on your channel. It was an amazing year for film. I'm really glad about that.
It really was.
If I want to chuck one plug in there, it's Just an Idea Productions, a company that Jacob and I started. I've kind of started spearheading. I've had.
I'm not really making anything, but I'm
that's
there.
All right. I've had.
I think I came up with the name.
I had. There it is. You know, right? I had 3 films in cinema in the past 2 weeks. 2 of which I directed, one of which I executive produced. We had a couple of winners. Really happy with that. We went to Cannes last year, which was a big milestone for the company. But we're still making things. We're working on our feature film right now, which shoots in August. I'm really excited for that. It's a horror film as well, which is, again, looks like it's somewhere I'm leaning because I love the horror films this year. They've been a really big influence on me. Something I wasn't really into 10 years ago, and now it's a huge influence on me. So that's about it. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook.
Those links will be in the description for Just an Idea.
But thank you so much for having me on, man. This isn't about me. This is about the films, and I really love films this year.
Thanks for doing this. Have a great day. I still don't know how to sign off videos.
We both love film.
Thanks for watching. I'm not going to say our old sign off from the podcast, but real OGs know what it is.
Thank you very much for watching, guys.
Peace out.